You're looking at this screen right now. You feel real. Your thoughts feel real. This moment feels real. But what if none of it is? Not in a poetic way. Not a metaphor. Literally, mathematically, scientifically. What if the most likely explanation for reality is that it isn't? In 2003, a philosopher at Oxford published a paper that broke a lot of people's brains, and some of the smartest scientists alive still can't prove he's wrong. His name was Nick Bostrom. His argument was simple, elegant, and deeply unsettling. He said, one of three things must be true. Option 1, every civilization, every single one, destroys itself before it ever becomes advanced enough to build realistic simulations. Every planet, every species, every attempt at intelligence, gone, before the finish line. Option 2, advanced civilizations do exist. They're out there, but for some reason, not one of them ever chooses to run simulations of their history. Maybe it's too dangerous. Maybe it's illegal. Maybe they just don't care. Or option 3, we are already inside the simulation. Those are the only options. Pick one, because at least one of them has to be true. This is called the simulation trilemma. And here's what makes it so hard to dismiss. The math actually works. A civilization advanced enough to run simulations could use a computer the size of a planet. That machine could perform 10 to the power of 42 operations per second. To simulate every human mind that ever lived, you'd need 10 to the power of 36 operations. Total, the computer could simulate all of human history, millions of times over. One civilization, one machine, infinite versions of us. But Bostrom wasn't the only one paying attention. In 2012, a physicist named S. James Gates was working on something called supersymmetry, equations that describe the deepest structure of the universe. And buried inside those equations, he found something he didn't expect: error-correcting codes. The exact same type of codes used in computer browsers, in software, in digital systems. Not similar to, not inspired by, the same mathematical structure inside the laws of physics. Gates said, and I'm quoting, "If I didn't know any better, I'd say someone wrote a computer program to create what we see." He knew better. He just couldn't explain it. And then the physicists started noticing other things. The universe has a smallest possible unit of measurement, the Planck length, 1.6 times 10 to the minus 35 meters. Below that, nothing. No smaller unit exists, like a pixel, like the smallest point on a screen that can't be divided further. Light has a speed limit. Nothing moves faster, not even information. In computing, every system has a maximum processing speed, a hard limit on how fast data can travel. The speed of light might be exactly that. And quantum mechanics, the study of particles at the smallest scale, revealed something extraordinary. A particle doesn't have a definite position until you observe it. Before you look, it exists in multiple states simultaneously, all possibilities at once. The moment you measure it, it snaps into one. Programmers call this lazy rendering. You don't load what isn't being watched. At the 2016 Isaac Asimov Memorial Debate, astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson put the odds of us living in base reality at 50-50, 50% chance, from one of the most respected scientists alive. That same year, Elon Musk said the odds we're not in a simulation are 1 in billions, not 1 in 100. 1 in billions. These aren't philosophers guessing. These are people who build rockets and telescopes. Max Tegmark, MIT physicist, has argued that mathematics doesn't just describe the universe. Mathematics is the universe. And what is a computer program, if not pure mathematics running on hardware? The question isn't whether a simulation is possible. It's whether we'd even know the difference. Of course, not everyone agrees. Some physicists argue the energy needed to simulate a conscious universe would exceed anything physically possible. That consciousness itself, the feeling of being you, can't be reduced to computation. That there are things happening inside your mind right now that no program could replicate. Maybe. But here's the thing. Every argument against the simulation assumes we understand what's physically possible. But we don't. We're inside the system we're trying to analyze. A fish doesn't know it's in water. It can't. The water is all it has ever known. Nick Bostrom never said we're in a simulation. He said we can't rule it out. And the math forces us to take it seriously. Whether this reality is base or simulated, you're still here. This still matters. But the next time the world feels a little too convenient, a little too structured, a little too perfect to be random, you'll know someone else thought the same thing, and they were a physicist.